Welcome to the Bliss Code podcast, where we unlock the secrets to your ideal lifestyle. I'm Jamie Drew, your guide on this transformative journey. Whether you're seeking balance, ambition, or pure bliss, remember, every episode brings us one step closer to cracking the code. Together, let's decode your dreams and elevate your everyday. Ready? Let's dive into the formula. Hey girl. So have you watched this Blue Zone documentary? I'm just curious as to how many people have watched it so far because I am so excited about it. Now, okay, low key, I'm a little bit jealous that more and more people are knowing about it because I'm the kind of nerd who likes to feel like I have exclusive information. And just the fact that it's on Netflix right now, I'm like, no, but I heard about that before it came out on Netflix. Is anybody else like that? Like you want something to be just yours and all your own. I don't know why I'm like that, but I'm thrilled about people discovering healthier, more holistic lifestyles because that's what I'm into. So now I get to have even more friends, and it'll be easier to convince you that you need to be living like this instead of like somebody like, I don't know, my mother, who it's taking me all of 10 years to get her to move in my direction. Actually, no, that's not even true because it's probably because of my mother that I'm into this kind of stuff. Let me tell you something. My mom has like 20 cookbooks on the kitchen shelf. And mom, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I'm dropping a dime on you right now. Okay? My mom has like 20 cookbooks on the kitchen counter and doesn't use any of them. Okay. There's this one particular cookbook that is like blue zone diets, like a blue zone way of eating. And I really think that might have been my first introduction to the blue zone. I don't know. I've been studying holistic, healthy lifestyle, manifestation, quantum physics for the last like 10 years now. So it could have been that. It could have been a combination of things, but that's really what we're here to talk about today is we're going all over the globe to see how we can quantum leap into a new lifestyle. Y'all remember that show Quantum Leap, right? There was a reboot of it that came out recently, but I'm talking about the old school one that came out in 1989 when your girl was 7 years old. It lasted for a few years after that, but I'm telling you, I used to be hooked on that show Quantum Leap because if you haven't seen it, there's a guy who just wakes up in another reality every episode and he just looks in the mirror and he's like, "Oh my goodness, I'm somebody completely different." And I compare what I do, my coaching style, my methodologies to this television show because I teach women how to step into a new life, how to embrace a main character energy, and then how to actually become that. Now, I have a lot of experience doing that because I grew up in a military family and we were constantly moving from city to city to city to state to state to state. So I got to take what I wanted with me and leave the rest alone. And this is what I want you to do too. So we're going to be talking about these different global philosophies that are going to help you move forward with your transformation. Okay. These truths, these concepts, okay, they are universally true around the globe. They don't just fit into one different scenarios because if you know me, I'm like, girl, I don't do quick fixes. I don't do gimmicks. This is a whole lifestyle thing. I've never been one when my son was growing up. I've never been one to just throw him the answers when he wanted help for his homework. I'm like, well, I'm trying to teach a man how to fish instead of give a man a fish because it's going to benefit you because you're going to pick up these philosophies and you're going to have it going forward for life. And it's going to benefit me because I don't have to keep giving it to you over and over and over again. You can get it for yourself. Okay. So we're going to be talking about not only the blue zones, we're going to be talking about something called Wabi-Sabi. Now, this is a Japanese philosophy that I absolutely love. And I think I touched on this a little bit in another episode when I was talking about how that fits into me being an abstract artist. We're also going to be talking about Pura Vida. Okay, that's pure life or the simple life. And this comes out of Costa Rica. And ironically, Costa Rica just so happens to be one of the blue zones, the Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica. So, how fitting is it that they have their own lifestyle philosophy, their own way of living? Then we're going to dive into a Danish and Norwegian concept that is called Hygge. Hygge. A little bit hard to pronounce, but it doesn't matter. All that matters is that we get the concept. And the reason I'm diving into these concepts is because let me tell you something. Before I decided to dive full force into my business, I used to work for a grant funded program that was in charge of housing and just basically the whole entire lifestyle of people who are chronically homeless and disabled. It's a very good concept, very, excellent um, program in theory, right? But I remember so many times people coming up to me in the parking lot, on the street, wherever I was, they may see me with the company logo on the company vehicle or on my shirt or something like that. And they want to know how they can get in, right? They want to know, how they qualify. But one thing I noticed, and this was their downfall, they always wanted the quick answer. I'm like, I don't have a quick answer for you. Okay. And the same way I was teaching them then is the same way I'm teaching you now. I don't have the quick fix. You're not going to be able to pop a pill and magically appear into your different lifestyle. What I'm teaching you now is the quickest way I know, and that's a quantum leap. Okay, this is right from physics. So, this is how you're going to get it. But you have to adopt this. You have to believe in this if you're going to see any results. I don't want you coming at me like, girl, that didn't even work when you didn't even work, because that's really what it is. And I know you're wondering, how do these lifestyle philosophies, how do they lead me to a quantum leap where I can get up and look in the mirror and see somebody different? Well, I'm about to tell you, girl. The way is that if you adopt these lifestyle philosophies, you're basically setting a standard for yourself, a standard of living, a standard of behavior that you've decided that you won't go below. And that's going to change you right there. That's going to change everything about you. Just like Gordon Ramsay says, standards, standards. That's one of my favorite things. I love me some Gordon Ramsay. I love him. Look, I told my boyfriend, I said, babe, if we ever see Gordon Ramsay out in public, I'm telling you right now, don't get jealous because your girl is going up to him. Okay, I want to shake hands, take a picture, something, tell him how much of an inspiration he has been, tell him how wonderful he is. Okay. I love Gordon Ramsay. But one of the main things I love about him, and this is why people think his ass is mean, is because he had standards and he won't go below those standards. Okay. And if you are below those standards, then you're not going to have a Michelin star like this guy. You're not going to have, what does he have? 75 restaurants, 20 years worth of shows. Okay. And if you're listening to me, you obviously don't want to be no regular zagular. Okay. We're not living regular lives up in here. We're living awesome, amazing, blissful. We're living life by the bliss code. We're unlocking the secret. Okay. So if you don't want to do the work, then you don't belong here. If you won't set a standard for yourself of what you will and won't accept, then you don't belong here. Because this has worked for me so in so many instances in my life, from the relationship that I'm in with my partner now, from the type of house that I own, the type of people that I surround myself with, the places that I eat, even down to where I grocery shop. I have a standard that I won't go below, and you should too. So I've been talking long enough. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's talk about the first one, which is, let's see, let's talk about Wabi-Sabi first. Wabi-Sabi is one of my favorite concepts. Like I said, this comes out of Japan. And guess what? Oh my goodness, it's like I knew it, but I didn't know it. Japan has a blue zone too. Okay. Everything is blue zone. Blue zones is putting it all together. So we'll make sure we talk about the blue zones last. Okay, how about that? Wabi Sabi. Okinawa, Japan is one of the blue zones. If you don't know what a blue zone is, well, we'll talk about that later. Okay. Wabi Sabi. I use this within my abstract art. And it is the philosophy just letting you know how great imperfection is. And not just imperfection, but impermanence. Everything is imperfect and everything is impermanent. And that, my dear, is the beauty of it. Okay. So when you think of an abstract piece of art, you think maybe that it might have some drippings down the side. Everything is maybe not uniform. And this is what I love about art. Art pieces, original art pieces, nothing like it. You can see the texture, you can see the layers behind it. Some artists have 5 and 6 layers underneath one painting. Did you know that? I'm one of them. And it's like a metaphor for life, that it has all these different layers on top of layers, and they all are part of the whole piece when it comes together for the finished product. So, one of the famous examples that they give for Wabi Sabi is if they have like a tea mug and the mug gets a crack in it. Instead of throwing this in the trash can, girl, guess what? They put gold in that thing. They put gold in the crack. So now it's this whole new piece of art. You've got this whole new mug, and you can see with all the gold streaks, depending on how many times it's cracked, you can see the journey that it's been through and how long it's been there. Isn't it so much more valuable when you have something older and antique, something weathered and worn, something that has a story behind it? Yeah. So all things in nature, weather and wear, if you think about a rock over time, how it's formed, how it may be on the water, and the splash, the constant splash over years and years and years may form this rock into a different shape. but it's just so lovely and it's just so natural. This is the concept of wabi-sabi, and I absolutely love it. Now, a lot of people, a lot of famous people, I've seen Kanye West talking about this, Kim Kardashian, some other people too, but wabi-sabi has been used a lot inside of interior home design. It's a more simplistic way of having your home arranged, almost like a minimalistic style where you focus on nature's elements within your home. Beautiful, I'm telling you. And this is good. This is good. All of these concepts will help you to regulate your nervous system, which will help you to move forward into a better life exponentially, better and better and better every single day. The more calm you are, the more you remove yourself from the overstimulation of life, the more you understand that things don't have to be exactly perfect, well, the better off you are. You stop releasing cortisol into your body. You just start feeling better. You start feeling okay with who you are. And I actually experienced this last night. I went to do some artwork with a live model. Let me tell you something. I've forgotten that this model was going to be nude. It was a woman, but it made me feel so good to sketch her because looking at her gave me body confidence. And you're like, what? How did looking at this naked lady give you body confidence? The same thing happened to me when I was in Mexico on the beach. It's like seeing other women unapologetically embrace their body in all their curves gives me my own glory. Because I'm telling you, when I was sketching this young lady last night, I wasn't thinking, oh, look at her rolls and look at them thighs and she got a gut. Look at them boobs sagging down, dragging, making sparks on the ground. You know how we talk about ourselves like that? We really trash ourselves. But when I was looking at her, I wasn't thinking any of that. I was thinking, what a beautiful feminine body. What a beautiful body that us women have. Look how soft she is. How can I portray this in my art with my charcoals and pastels and things like that? How can I do it justice in my abstract way? How can I express myself on paper through her? How can I express how I feel? And it was beautiful. I had a great time, and it just was really a metaphor for life that we need to let this, feeling that everything has to be perfect, we need to let it go. Because this is how people end up with obsessive disorders, mental disorders, thinking that they have to be a certain way, behave a certain way, or look a certain way, when all of us are individuals and beauties within our own right. Think about something that you had that maybe somebody gave you that wasn't perfect. Didn't you value it more? Wouldn't you value something more passed down and weathered and worn than something brand new from the store? I know I would. Let's move into, let's go to Costa Rica. Okay, we're going around the world. Let's go to Costa Rica and let's talk about Pura Vida. Okay, Costa Rica is a place donde las personas hablan español. Y I just had to sneak a little bit of Spanish in there for you. But the people speak Spanish, which is a language that I love. And pure life is what it translates to, but it just means the simple life. Okay. It means just being chill, not worrying about too much of the next moment. Me and my boo were planning a trip to Costa Rica. And they were warning us, you look at some of the reviews and everything, and it's like, listen, these people live by this simple life philosophy. So they let things roll off their back. Nothing is really serious for them. So if you call a ride, if you call a cab, a Uber or something, and they arrive and it's a lot later than you thought they should be getting there, they're like, hey, Pura Vida. Okay. It's woven into every aspect of the way that they do things. And actually, that's one thing, that's one difference that I saw when I moved down south. I'm currently in the US, living in South Carolina. And prior to that, I was living in the DC metropolitan area. Shout out to the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia. And, it was a bigger focus on hustle and bustle, getting places fast, being upset for being in traffic all the time. Well, down here in South Carolina, people have a lot more patience. And I can only imagine what it's like in Costa Rica, where everything is just simple and you're not worried about, you know, I've really been taught, although I don't follow this all the time, but to be early is to be on time, and to be on time is to be late. I don't think they follow this concept in Costa Rica. I don't think that is a pura vida concept right there. And sometimes we need to shed this so we could take a chill pill, Bill. The reason that I am able to walk around being 41 and people telling me that I look 28 is because I have adopted these philosophies into my lifestyle, and I refuse to let stress overtake me. I refuse. I've done it in jobs for years and years, but finally had to snatch my life back and really say, what do I want for life? What is most important to me? What's going to make me feel good inside? Okay. And they've even, when we get to the blue zones, they've even talked about blue zone skincare. And you'd be surprised to find out that blue zone skincare really isn't skincare at all. It's about drinking water and having a stress free life. And that's what your girl is over here doing. Let's move on to Hygge. Okay. Danish, Norwegian philosophy. These areas of the country can be dark for long periods of time. So these people had to find a way to keep themselves cozy and happy when they can't experience, a lot of sunlight like they want to, or being out and about. I don't know if you've ever heard of, it's called SAD, SAD, seasonal affective disorder, I believe is what it's called. But it's basically where people get sad in the wintertime or start to experience depression or just basic unhappiness in the wintertime because of the lack of sunlight, the lack of things to do. So if you are feeling that coming into this cooler season, because we are at the fall season now, you may want to adopt this Hygge lifestyle. And Hygge is all about being cozy, appreciating family, appreciating the simple things in life. Okay. Getting yourself a cup of tea from the blissco.net, which has high quality premium loose leaf tea from farm to cup, baby. Yes, I'm going to brag on my own brand. But this is what I do. Even sometimes, when the night is kind of crisp, I take my tea outside and just enjoy, even sometimes during the daytime where it's like cold enough to be out there, but it's not freezing cold. I love to just be out there in the crisp air with my cup of tea. So that is me embracing Hygge lifestyle. If I do it on the inside, you light some candles, that's Hygge. Put on a blanket, that's Hygge. Some soft lo-fi music, that's Hygge. Sitting around the dinner table with your family, with your loved ones, appreciating my son and the relationship that we have, appreciating my boo and the relationship that we have, my loved ones, my family members, the simple things in life, the things that really actually matter. That is what Hygge is. That is, you know, basically that's living a good life. You know what I'm saying? So when you start to adopt these philosophies, because I know you will start to see changes within your life. And the higher you hold this standard, the more that you do it, the better you will feel. And you will look at yourself in the mirror and think that you see a different person. You will become a different person. I remember when I left my job, and it wasn't that far after I had left. And I remember people seeing me and telling me that I looked different. And I believe them. I'm looking at myself in the mirror now. I do look like a completely different person. My whole demeanor is different, y'all, because I was stressed out, burnt out. I had all the stress disorders, cortisol, hormones, like everything was flipping and turning inside of me because I was unhappy in life. I was unable to live my fulfilled being. And I know some of you are in that same position too. Working, especially if you live in the US. I remember going on a job interview and them telling me, this is not the previous job that I was in, but a different job before that, where they told me straight up, and I'm not going to name the company, they told me straight up that, like, basically I wasn't allowed to have another job because they wanted me to concentrate 100% on their company. And there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They wanted my life to be absorbed by their company. And I understand what they were saying. They didn't want me to have any distractions or anything pulling me away. But this is how we live in this culture. And especially as women, we feel like we need to be grateful for the jobs that we have. We feel like we, want to take advantage of every opportunity. And it's really tearing us apart. So if you are a person that's in a transition in your life, let's say you're recently divorced, or let's say you recently changed jobs. Let's say whatever it is, you have a shift in your life and you're like, "You know what? I'm ready to be a brand new me." Then these are the things that you need to start picking up. Let's do something, okay? Look, close your eyes. If you're driving, don't close your damn eyes, okay? Let's do something, a little 30-second exercise. I'm going to close my eyes too. I'm going to imagine, let's go back to Costa Rica. I want to imagine that I'm there. I'm on one of those beaches and I'm just feeling good. I'm living my best life. I've got a beach house over there. And I want you to do this with me. I want you to imagine your best life too. I want you to imagine a place where you want to be, a place that makes you feel good. Now, I want you to go back in your memory. I want you to rewind a little bit. And I want you to think, before you got there, how did you get there? Okay, so now I'm seeing myself on an airplane. And before I was on the airplane, how did I get there? Okay, might have been in a car. What were the steps that led me to getting there? You know what? Now I'm seeing myself at the post office getting my passport done. And I want you to do that. I'm going to open my eyes now, but I want you to do that. I want you to see yourself in the place where you want to be. And I want you to think of one thing that probably got you there. And I want you to do that thing. So if you're going to Costa Rica like me and you don't have a passport, then go and get your passport. If you already have your passport, I want you to start looking up the houses there, looking up where you can work from there. If you want to work remote or whatever it is, I want you to start actually planning out this new life that you're going to have. This is everything in a nutshell that I've talked about is really blue zone living. Now, when we get to the blue zones, we know that the blue zones are 5 places throughout the world where they have the highest longevity, where they have the highest number of centenarians, people living to be over 100 years old. Okay. And not only are they 100, but they're happy and thriving. What are they doing? Well, they're focusing on their purpose in life. They have a reason to get up every day. They are being surrounded by family. They're eating a plant-based diet. Hello. Hello. Why do you think your girl became vegan, honey? And everybody doesn't have to go the vegan way like I did, but it for damn sure is going to get you there. Okay. Focusing on, and not the junk vegan stuff, because we all know that Oreos are vegan. Okay. I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about eating whole foods and focusing on plants, not whole foods, the grocery store, but whole foods as opposed to packaged, pre-prepared foods, breads, pastas, things like that, things that can grow, things that come from the earth. This is what those people's focus is. And not only that, they align their body with the sunlight, which is something that I was so thrilled to do when I left my job. If you have a job where you can get up later in the day and you can wake up not to an alarm clock, but to your body clock by the sunlight, that is so beautiful for your nervous system. And getting movement in every day. That is something I've been able to do for myself now, is walk 2 to 4 miles almost every day. And it makes me feel so good, not just about my body, but I know that my heart is getting a good workout, my lungs, everything. I know that I'm getting the vitamin D out in the fresh air. You still may have to take your supplements and your vitamins and things like that, but I'm telling you, you're going to look so much better. You're going to feel so much better. Your whole world is an interpretation of your internal state. So if you are not happy right now, if you are going through things in your life, it is a reflection of your internal state. And the best thing that you can do for yourself is go somewhere and get happy and relax and take some things off of your plate. Simplify your life. Start to adopt these philosophies. I want you to don't just listen to me, do your own research on this stuff. Look up Hygge, Blue Zones, look up Pura Vida. Okay, look up Wabi-Sabi and start to see how you can incorporate this into your own lifestyle. Look up the 5 places where the blue zones are. We do have one here in the United States, Loma Linda, California. And the way those people, they just so happen to be Seventh-day Adventists. But it's really, in my opinion, has a lot to do with their diets. They eat whole food, focus on plants, low focus on sugars, okay? If there's sugars, it's natural, maybe from fruit. But these are the pillars that these people live by in all of the blue zones. Okinawa, Japan, Loma Linda, California, Ikaria, Greece, Nicoya, Costa Rica. And I think I'm forgetting one, but you get my point, okay? Been around the world and and I done found me a philosophy. Now, here's your challenge for the week. And you got to do this, okay? Don't let me down. Don't let yourself down. I want you, until you hear the sound of my voice again next week on another episode, I want you to pick one of these lifestyle philosophies and I want you to start living them. And damn it, watch the change happen in your life, okay? Just pick one. That's all you have to do. And I promise you, you will see a change within that 7 days. Hold on, girl. Don't go anywhere yet. Did you turn on your notifications? I don't want you to miss out on next week's episode where we dive into some method acting and really make our dreams come true by living it in reality. So don't forget, hit that button. Stay with me. Thank you for listening to the Bliss Code Podcast.